Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Xbox because of all their current mistakes, from bad Game Pass sales to honestly just how bad the Xbox Series X is doing. You can still look at the past and say, oh yeah, Xbox used to be great. Xbox used to have crazy epic stuff, going to midnight launch for Halo 3 and stuff. These were like crazy landmark moments, and it's very obvious that Microsoft is trying to recapture that. They want to go back to old school Xbox, where people weren't just happy to buy the games, but there was like definitely this vibe. Xbox matters. So there's been some rumblings about a Halo remake, a remake specifically of Halo 1. And a lot of these remake rumors have sounded a bit odd to me, because honestly, going back to the original, that is a smart move, but do we really trust current day Xbox? Like, it's funny to actually consider the fact that the impact of it, the impact of original Halo, like I have like gaming textbooks because I'm that kind of nerd, and if you go to the page of Xbox and it's important, what's the first picture literally? Oh yeah, it's Halo. So going back and remaking the first game, that's not a bad plan. Apparently though, they're trying to do it as cheap as possible. No multiplayer, very bare bones remake of the game itself, and a $80 price tag. But that's not all. I want to get into all the Halo leaks because this seems like it's going to be yet another Xbox train wreck. I hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm recording this video and then I'm going to go to the lake this weekend to get drunk with the bros. So I don't know. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I post all sorts of stories of all the stupid stuff I do when I'm not making stupid videos. Halo Combat Evolved is getting a remake, but it will only feature a campaign mode, it's claimed. Now, this all comes from RebsGaming. I've actually talked to this guy. He does great content, and specifically, he does a lot of leaks all about Halo. Public information, private information. He has some good sources, and this video that he posted yesterday, which is sourced in this article, we're going to go through all of it, breaks down a lot about how bad Halo is doing, how much Infinite is definitely being abandoned, and how it sounds like Xbox is kind of scrambling to try to make Master Chief relevant again. It sounds like they're making two separate games right now. Halo, that's going to be a launch game for the Xbox Next Gen, which obviously isn't going to be out for years. And it sounds like this remake, which is definitely trying to be under budget and in a lot of ways very lazy. Halo Combat Evolved Remake will only feature a campaign mode. New details about the Halo Combat Evolved Remake have come from RebsGaming. In the video, he also shares updates about Project Ekur, which is like a multiplayer game we're going to talk about, Halo 7, and addresses some rumors surrounding Halo Infinite. Now, I want to go through all of this because they have talked publicly about how they're trying to shift what Halo is. And one of the big things is that they're trying to move it over to a new engine. They're trying to put it into Unreal Engine. So not only are the developers currently trying to learn basically a completely new style of game development, they're trying to make Halo great again, right? Okay. Rebs shared information that he received from two sources connected to Halo developers regarding Halo Combat Evolved Remake. Sources have revealed that the development of Halo Combat Evolved began in 2023 with a planned anniversary project set for release in 2026. That'll be the 25th anniversary of its original launch back in 2001. It has been noted that the Halo Combat Evolved Remake will feature only a campaign and may potentially be released on PlayStation as well. This to me is still a shock. It's amazing to me to watch everything going from Xbox to PlayStation, but I always feel like there has to be a line somewhere. You know, it's wild to see Gears of War's remake coming to PlayStation and Forza and stuff, but I always just feel like there has to be some line, and in the back of my brain, in my lizard brain somewhere, it still feels like Halo would have been a line. They would be like, no, Halo will always be on Xbox and PC, and maybe the Nintendo Switch too, but not PlayStation. And it turns out this remake is apparently in development, possibly for the PlayStation 5 as well. In terms of multiplayer, RebsGaming has reported that 343 Industries has canceled plans for a Battle Royale mode. Now, this thing, Project Tanaka, I had heard a lot about this as well. Apparently, This sounds like it was very, very, very deep in development, but it was a third-party thing. There was basically a separate studio that was working on it by direct supervision at 343 Industries. It wasn't like some random side project. It was basically, hey, you guys make this battle royale. From the leaks I personally have heard, it does sound like it would have actually been pretty cool, but for whatever reason, they just decided to scrap it. I guess stuff like that is very expensive, and the big problem with battle royales is that once you make them, you can't exactly scale back down. You basically have a big permanent development team forever. It's very expensive to maintain battle royales, which is why a lot of those live service games get shut down so often. Okay, this has been handed over to Certain Affinity. The game development studio has rebranded as a separate multiplayer game using Unreal Engine 5, which is currently called codename Project Ekur. RebsGaming then refers to a recent post from Halo data mimer Grunt API that teased the title code for a game. When asked about its significance, the source confirmed that Project Ekur and indicated that the game has been receiving updates approximately every 6 hours for the past few days. Now, this probably means they're just testing it internally. There is a good chance that sometimes good data mimers, like this guy, Grunt API, you can see when they're really, really messing with stuff. When we had the Gears of War remake years ago, people won't remember this now, but when the Gears of War remake was first about to come out, it actually got leaked because same sort of thing. People saw them updating the server access and somebody found a developer testing it. They had accidentally auto-uploaded gameplay of it, so we actually had a chance to see it before it was officially revealed. In the next segment, Rebs talks about Halo 7, the upcoming mainline installment for the series. Based on his exchange with the Halo community manager, he believes that Halo 7 is currently in pre-production and will likely be an indirect sequel. However, players should not expect the game to be released until the next generation of Xbox consoles is launched. I do think that they have put themselves in a very dangerous position purely by accident. It's very obvious. Anybody who was there covering the launch of the Xbox Series X, the launch of Halo Infinite, that was clearly a big, giant blunder that cost them possibly billions, but at the very least hundreds of millions of dollars, which is that Halo Infinite was originally definitely supposed to be a launch game. If you bought an Xbox Series X at launch, it actually has a giant Master Chief helmet on the box, like, welcome to next gen. They pushed back that very late. They basically made it a launch game and then kicked it at the last second. And then when you even play Infinite, for all the good of it, I like Infinite. For what I've played, I put probably like 200 hours into Infinite, and I really liked it. You know, it's got some rough edges, but I still think that the goodness of it definitely shines through. They put the story into a terrible spot. And I feel like they're in this spot now where they're kind of trying to figure out, okay, how do we do Halo 7? So when they say it's an indirect sequel, I think they're going to kind of just pretend this didn't happen. I do feel like one of the things people have discussed a lot in this age of layoffs, in this age of constant closures and stuff, is that a lot of people are afraid to be bold and creative. I do think that they're probably getting word from Satya Nadella, from Phil Spencer, saying, go back to a Halo. Just put a giant ring, put Master Chief on it, have him shoot a bunch of grunts, punch a bunch of elites, elbow drop some brutes, call it a day. Don't do anything crazy, complicated, no AI, no Forerunner, just crazy, good, old school Halo. Bring that back, and we'll tie it in with the remake we're trying to do at the same time, right? A continuation of the original Halo trilogy. That's probably what this is going to be. But even then, I just feel like so much of this sounds, in my opinion, very raw. The first rumor suggested that the multiplayer mode of Halo was being ported to Unreal Engine 5. However, sources, including a former employee from Halo Studios, have confirmed that current development for Halo Support Studios have confirmed that they've never heard of such plans. The second rumor has claimed that Halo Infinite would be coming to PlayStation, but again, these sources have stated that they're unaware of any intentions. I almost feel like all these conflicting leaks, these conflicting sources, these conflicting statements, I do think that Halo is in a spot where they're trying to make it as big, as important, as flashy as it used to be, and they just don't quite know how to get there. There has been discussions about the fact that the Halo franchise is getting some sort of big announcement later this year. I think that for all intents and purposes, whenever they do the Halo Grand Finals this year, I think they're going to say Halo Infinite is on PlayStation now. I think they're going to move the multiplayer over, but maybe not the single player. But I have to say, As a person that grew up, especially with the original Halo was still my favorite Halo of all time by a metric margin. I still think that this revival, this reboot, this remake, if it doesn't have multiplayer, if it doesn't have any of the cool online modes, if it doesn't have anything to make it actually feel, I don't know, like a full-priced game, I don't think anybody's going to buy it. Maybe if you put it at like $30, maybe if you put it on PlayStation, but at this point, I do feel like, as bad as it is, Halo's relevancy is just so expired, and it still feels weird to think about that. But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts. How do you feel about Halo in 2025? When's the last time you played Halo? Probably 2020, right? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Wait, you couldn't play Halo in 2020? I mean, 2021, right? 2021 is when we got Halo Infinite. Anyways, go follow me on Instagram. I'm going to go take my shirt off and lay in a water tube for 3 days. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.